Pinch punch, it's the 1st of the month, Thursday the 1st of June. I'm FxPlew and this is the market brief. So Catherine Mann has been on. She is the most hawkish member of the MPC and she remains concerned about the risk that inflation will become ingrained in the UK economy. She thinks that core inflation presents a more significant issue for the UK economy than the rest of the G7 because UK companies are so desperate to protect their profit margins, they will pass on higher wage costs directly and immediately through higher prices. UK inflation peaked at 11.2% last October, and while headline inflation is falling, driven largely by lower energy costs, this was still up at 8.7% in April. Fun fact for inflation fans, this is the joint highest in the developed world, sharing the dubious honour with Italy. While the expectation is for another rate hike at the next MPC meeting, there is mounting pressure for the Bank of England to pause their rate tightening cycle. Mann believes that this should not happen, certainly not before they make more progress in curbing core inflation. So there'll be no prizes for guessing how she'll vote at the MPC meeting. Over in the US, job openings rose back over the 10 million mark, which was the highest level seen since January, and the April figures were revised higher. A tight labour market is something that Powell had hoped was beginning to recede, but there is growing support for the idea that the Fed should pause their rate hikes. While core inflation remains stubbornly high though, it's hard to argue that this should be anything more than a pause for the time being at least. Tomorrow's employment data and indeed the next inflation data might be critical in steering the next rate decision from the Fed, so all to play for there. The higher job openings is a strong indicator that the headline payrolls number should be pretty good, so bear that in mind for tomorrow's sweepstake because the dollar certainly bounced off the back of that data yesterday. The dollar index peaked at 104.70 and sterling saw increased volatility, trading up to 124.45 and about 123.50 on the downside. Sterling opens this morning around 124.25 against the dollar. We're 116.40 against the euro, and euro dollar is around 106.75 this morning. That's it from me. Have a great day. I've got to go and find my dog.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FxPlew.